Hey, what's up everybody? So we're back, like I promised. This is the second episode. I'll give you guys the quick rundown on the car. Try to go through as many of the problems and issues that I think was going to be needing to be repaired, and then you know, we'll go from point by point. And the following, I'll probably do a video for most of the repairs, maybe one at a time. Kind of go through the major stuff I want to do first, and just work our way through it. And as you can see, the car's behind me. A lot of people are like, "Man, you got pink wheels on your car." I kind of think of it more like a magenta, you know what I mean? So at first I was kind of iffy on the color, but honestly, the longer I've had the car, I think the color actually goes good with the blue. So for now, I'll probably just leave it. I mean, at one point I was thinking of going with the gunmetal, and right now I'll probably just leave it. And then when I get sick of it, maybe I'll switch it back to the gunmetal. But for now, this is all we got. So I'm gonna go down there and give you guys a rundown. All right, so hopefully hope you guys can see this good. It's a little windy out here, so it might be the sound might be a little crappy, but I didn't want to wait longer. I kind of promised videos, and the weather's been pretty bad, so hopefully I'll try not to be too shaky, and you guys can take a rundown. So as you can see, the front from the car itself is it's not too bad. From the outside, it's been repainted. There's little things here. There's been painted like a flat black. It's the Rallyes have the same color chin as the rest of the car. This one's been kind of painted black. It's got some cracks right there. You can see a buddy of mine at Acme Auto Refinish is going to actually do the repairs on that chin spoiler for me. So his name is Earl. He's a good friend of mine from back in high school, so he's going to take care of that. A couple quick things in the front. I don't have the brake ducts, which are probably going to be next to impossible to replace. I mean, I know some companies are trying to do repro ones, and that's fine, and I'll probably end up getting some of those, but to track down the stock ones, like I said, is pretty much impossible. You're probably going to pay like $500 a side. And it's for me, it's really not that important. Another thing to mention here on the fronts is it has the wrong bumper lights. Those are off of just a general Mark II. They're not Rallyes, and the Rallye ones are Rallye specific. So they're smoked, but they're not the right size. So you'd be driving around, then you jump out of the car, and one of them has popped out. So I think VXT actually makes reproduction ones, and they're like probably like $75 a pop. And I would be getting those. I'll probably get them in smoke just because the rear tails are hella, they're smoked and they're hellas, and I kind of want to match it up. I kind of like the smoke, even though the purists will want just the orange and amber ones, but I'm probably going to go with the smoked ones. So I'm gonna do a quick walk around here. Plastics around the door handles are pretty dry rotted. Probably replace those. Those are easy. Those are just stock Mark II parts. The sunroof actually doesn't work, and you can see it's got a scratch when someone tried to open it up, and the owner told me it didn't work before I bought it, so it's something I can tackle. Right now it's got aftermarket tails. These aren't the stock tail lights. I do have the stock tail lights, and I'll probably do a video later, kind of run through the parts that I have and what I'm going to be replacing. Work our way around this side. I kind of like the way it sits. It's pretty low, but it's got coilovers on it. The one thing I don't like is that it has the wheel well arches removed in the front, and all the fenders are rolled, which kind of sucks because I'd rather not have rolled fenders. But I guess to get the stance that like this, you basically you got to suffer some kind of consequence. So here's the inside. All the instrument cluster stuff works. The speedometer cable does not work, and I'll show you guys why. All the clock is there. It's not busted. All the warning lights work. When I first got it, I'll show you the oil buzzer kept going off, and I'll kind of show you guys what that was. I've already gone ahead and fixed some stuff in here just before I started these videos, and they're pretty simple. So I'll just give you guys a quick rundown. One thing that doesn't work in here that's kind of annoying is the e-brake light and the ABS light. They don't come on. So I got to figure out what's going on. If it's a harness thing, I've already bought a replacement warning light little piece there, but I haven't installed it yet. And then looking inside, the other thing that I don't like is, if you guys can see in there, the actual compartment in there has been cut out in the back. I don't know why. I have a replacement one, but I'm kind of not sure if the Mark II General Golf is the same as a Rallye. I know the Rallye has a larger, transmission arch for the prop shaft that runs through. And like I said, I do have a replacement center console, but we'll see if it fits when I get there. So we'll find that out. Another thing in here, as you guys can see, it's got these aftermarket pedals, and it looks like somebody's tried to drill them out. I mean, they look terrible. It looks like someone's tried to drill them out with the bolts. They must have been stripped out, and I will drill those out and go back to the stock, just little rubber the stock rubber covers. I mean, obviously the gas pedal, not much we can do about that. I'll probably just take them out and deal with the holes in the pedal, but I think the holes in the pedal will probably look much better than this rusty, I don't even know what brand these brake pedals are. So the interior, the seats got a rip there, kind of wear over here. I would like to hopefully one day get the higher arch Rallye ones, the Rallye Recaro ones, because I think just look a lot better than these, but probably going to be $1,000 or so in the hole before I can get those and tracking them down. Obviously they're Rallye specific, and you're not just going to find those everywhere you look, so it's going to take some searching. In the back, not too much here. I mean, I've already gone and repaired the back seats. They weren't installed right. It's missing the plastic covers on all this hardware in here. So like, I believe that's just Mark II stuff. I don't think that's Rallye specific, so I can probably replace that, no problem. It's missing the chair rail little trim pieces on both sides, and I won't show you both. They look basically exactly the same. So those should be pretty easy. Again, those are just Mark II, not Rallye specific. And that's pretty much it for the interior. When I got the car, I actually asked the owner if the headliner was saggy, and he told me it wasn't. And like I said, being that I couldn't see the car in person, he told me it wasn't, but obviously it is. So we'll probably take that down. And I've never redone, a headliner, but we'll give it a shot and see how that goes. And while it's down, I'll probably try to tackle that sunroof and figure out why that doesn't work. It's missing the visor clip, but that's just Mark II, so I just track those down. I'm sure they're on eBay. I might even have some laying around somewhere. We'll just have to go through and find them. So one of the last things we got going on interior that I really don't like is this dash. I don't even know if it's actually screwed in or not, but I have some of that hardware off of older Mark IIs that I could just use to tighten that up and put that back together. So now we'll pop the hood, and you guys can follow me through as I explain the wonderful problems on that side of it. All right, so here's the engine bay. Where do we start? Man, there's probably 1,001 things in here I need to replace. When I first bought the car, I saw some things in the pictures I didn't like. A lot of the wiring harness kind of looked iffy, so I was kind of worried about that. But then, I just went ahead and bit the bullet. 'Cause I actually have a Digi 1 out of a Corrado harness kind of sitting around, depending on how bad this was going to be. But I think it's not as bad as I thought. I mean, there's definitely stuff cut and stuff I need to replace. And as you can see, this alternator loom is definitely wrong. It's kind of just slapped together with some homemade wires. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys can see, but some of the wiring is chopped together. If you look here at the try to get it out. It's actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually a wire nut holding the exciter wire for the alternator. Just got an alternator harness from a Corrado, and I'll show you guys all that stuff in the next video, kind of a parts breakdown. So I'm going to start from the passenger side and work my way over. You can see that the ABS sensor is pretty mangled. The evap stuff is gone. It's actually, that hose line actually doesn't have a clamp on it, so I'll go ahead and replace that. One of the evap things is just open. I'm not sure exactly what that goes to, but I'll probably just cap it, and I don't really have too many problems with the evap stuff being removed. I mean, for purists, I'd like to have it all, but it's not here, and I could always track that down if I really want to go that route. The manifold looks like at some point it had been tapped, and then they just put a screw in there with some silicone to try to seal that up. I'll replace that at some point. And if you look back here, there's some more beautiful wire ties. I'm not really sure what the deal was with that. I mean, that's for the O2 sensor. Looks like it's missing the harnesses on both sides, the wire harness side and the O2 sensor side. So I'll probably just track those down and solder it in. For the O2 sensor, I'll probably solder it. A lot of the other stuff I'll probably just use the shrink, like crimp ties, and use connect those wires. This was missing, the sensor plug on the ABS. I actually had one laying around, so I just threw that on there to make sure it works. As you can see, the coolant expansion tank was crap, so I replaced that. It had the wrong hardware, and it didn't have the cover for the hardware, so I got all that done already. The car does have a full Samco hose kit on it, and most of it was installed except for this hose right here, and I have it. I just haven't had a chance to go through and do it. I probably should have done it when I had the expansion tank off, but we'll just make a video of that. And if you can see here, I replaced the knock sensor already. I'll show you guys how bad that was in my parts video when I run through all the stuff that I got. It was pretty much exposed. All the shielding was exposed, and it was covered with just electrical friction tape. And then this is I guess the worst part. A lot of people ask me why I don't drive this thing around, don't drive it to work or anything like that. Pretty much because I don't really trust this coolant fan. And I know this isn't Rallye. I don't even know what this is. My guess, without checking a part number, would probably be maybe Mark 1 Scirocco, Mark 1 Rabbit or GTI. I'm not really sure. Wiring is all hacked up. You can see that the fan switch down there, it's kind of just 2 wires spliced into something. None of the actual stock harness connectors are there. I have tracked all that down. We'll run through all of that in the next video with all the other parts I'm going to show and explain. I'm trying to track down the stock fan shroud. I have the fan and the bracket. I just don't have the right shroud. I bought a G60 Corrado one, and it didn't quite fit. I could probably make it work with some modifications and kind of shift it over because it was hitting the outlet elbow on the supercharger. But like I said, we'll try that and put that in until I get the real one in, and I'll actually do the harness repair before I get the shroud. And also, something that's really kind of bothers me is this radiator. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but actually some of the tunnels are kind of got JB Weld on them. So I'm guessing it leaked at some point in time, and instead of a previous owner or whoever built this car, instead of buying or trying to track down the right radiator, they just put JB Weld on it, and that kind of super scares the crap out of me. And I don't want to drive this anywhere far, because if that goes out, this car is not really that great for towing, you know what I mean? So getting on a tow truck is probably not going to be that great of an idea. It'd probably be pretty traumatic if you ask me, so that kind of restricts how far I drive it. I've heard a lot of people say you can use the radiator off of a VR6 Corrado, and if you guys have done that, comment, let me know. Just put in the comments, let me know if you've done it and if it works, and maybe I want to go that route, because obviously it's cheaper and it's readily available, and it's a lot easier than trying to track down a Rallye one, or paying $600 or whatever the price is on the metal ones, that all aluminum, that say they're for a Rallye, but I'm not really sure if I trust them or not. Another little stupid thing here, if you look at the hood latch, I mean, it's only got 2 of the bolts. These are supposed to be riveted in, but for some reason they're bolted on. And I mean, you can't really see it, but a lot of the hardware holding basically the core support is missing or slapped together. I don't even know where the bolts or nuts hardware are coming from, but I'll try to track down some Mark II stuff and see if I can get in there and install it right. I guess one of the final things I want to give you guys a rundown in the engine bay real quick. If you look at these battery terminals, I mean, geez, I don't, it's awful. This looks like some aftermarket junk that they got from like the auto parts store. This one looks like it's off of Mark III, and if you look, it's actually got a screw in there to kind of take up the space between the terminal and the battery bracket there. So I'll probably take that out. I've already tracked down a Mark II positive battery terminal. I need to track down a Mark II negative. And if you look, this is kind of held together with some kind of wire clamp to kind of make the negative extend and be long enough. So that's not going to fly in my book. I want to replace all that stuff. I mean, at this point, anything is going to be better than that. So it shouldn't be too hard to remedy. Like I said, some of the stuff I've already done. This valve cover was missing about 3 of the bolts. I've got them all back in now. The ISV is missing the bracket and the little grommet that holds it there. Just a bunch of little petty things. I mean, for me, I just feel like it's a Rallye Golf. I mean, come on, you got to do a little better than that. This is some rookie repair stuff here. It's not the way I like to do things. And let me show you guys the last thing here. If you guys can see that in there, that's the ECU. It's kind of just it's in there with no brackets. I mean, this thing's supposed to have a bracket. It goes onto these little posts here, and you bolt it down so it doesn't move. Right now, it's just thrown in here. The previous owner actually gave me a box of parts, and the bracket was in there. So I don't know why they didn't just put it in, but that's something I'll do, and I'll show you guys how to do it. This isn't rust. This is just dirt. Thank God. I'm not a huge fan of rust either. So like I said, that's pretty much it, man. So like I said, I'll do my next video will probably be a rundown of the parts that I have, and where I kind of explain where I got them, and tracking stuff down. I mean, it's a Rallye Golf, so like I said, all this stuff is not readily available. It's no longer produced. You got to scour the world, scour the internet, scour friends on the Rallye community, and see if you can track down the parts you need. It's not easy, but you know, for me, it's kind of fun. So there it is. Another thing I wanted to show you guys that I forgot when I was running through all the major rundown. I mean, if you see that right there, that's my speedo cable. I mean, for some reason it was pulled out, busted. I mean, this is basically it. It doesn't go anywhere else. And, you know, if I take this off, you just see it. It's kind of just the grommet and the fastener there with no cable, nothing going to the cluster, nothing at all. So if you drive the car, I mean, obviously in kilometers. So unless you're going to do a quick conversion in your head every time you drive it, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, because I really probably don't know how fast I'm going anyways. But I'll replace that. I did buy it, and I'll show you guys the when I do the unboxing on that stuff, and you guys can see that I do have the cable. All right, guys, there it is. So that's a quick rundown. I'll slap this video together, and you guys can check it out. Hopefully I have it posted tonight, and you guys can check it out.